This week, Apple announced that Final Cut Pro is coming to the iPad. But here's the problem. I personally feel like it's not enough. This is something we've been waiting so long for since really the first iPad Pro came out in 2015. That's 8 years. 8 years we've been waiting for Apple to take the iPad seriously and develop their own Pro software for the device. But I gotta say, I'm kind of a little unimpressed with the version of Final Cut Pro we're getting. I really wish they would have just tied the Mac and the iPad into one, but there's a reason why they didn't do that, and I'll talk about that here in just a little bit. So it's $4.99 a month or $49.99 a year, and that's just for it on the iPad. You still have to purchase the Mac one separate, and there are a few things that I can't wait to try out. So they do support multicam editing. I love this. I use it all the time. If you usually notice, I'll have 2 cameras in every video that I do. This one's just a 1 camera, but most of the time I have at least 2, sometimes 3 cameras. And multicam editing is amazing, and doing it with touch is gonna be really fun. I can't wait to try that out. Also, live drawing with the Apple Pencil support is gonna be in here too. And that's another thing that I've kind of messed around with in the past with using other third-party apps and kind of green screen and taking out everything. Never really worked right, so I can't wait to actually use this in Final Cut Pro. But that's where my excitement drops for this version of Final Cut Pro, because the things that it can't support external hard drive support. I'm pretty sure this is in LumaFusion. I used to use LumaFusion all the time. I tried to go iPad only a few years ago, and it went pretty well. I think I lasted about 9 months before I finally just gave up, because by day I code all the time, and I have to use Xcode for that. But I always told myself if they came out with Xcode and Final Cut Pro, I'd give it another shot. And when I saw this, I was super excited. The limitations are just, like I said, no external hard drive support, which means you are reliant on the space on the device. When you shoot 4K, if you shoot 8K, 6K, those files are huge, and the iPad's just not gonna be able to hold much of a multicam edit on the device itself. You need that external hard drive support. There's also no plugin support, and if you use Final Cut Pro, you know one of the biggest features is because you can do those plugins. They are so nice to just kind of add in, just modify. I use them all the time, and I love them so much. I've gotten to where I can't edit without them. They just make it so easy, so nice, and this can't do it. Now, it does mention that third-party content's coming soon, but what's coming soon mean? Because that's so relative. That tells us nothing. That means it could be coming out maybe this summer, or it could mean that it's coming out a whole nother year from now. So you could be spending $50 to $60 on this software, maybe even more, because coming soon could mean 2-3 years. Who knows with Apple? It tells us nothing. And also, what's this third-party content? Is that the plugins we want? Or is that gonna be something completely different? We're gonna have to wait to see what that is. Another feature that is missing, you can get it to a Mac, but from the Mac, you cannot bring it back. You finally got it on the iPad, but I still use my Mac for most of the time, and I want to be able to start on my Mac and then bring it to my iPad, and that's just not something that we can do. I'm glad Apple finally took a step in the right direction by bringing Final Cut Pro to the iPad. I just wish they would have taken a jump and made it more full feature. What's your thoughts? Leave a comment down below. Hope you have a great one. God bless.